Jack London, the Heathen, narrated by Bryan Godwin.
I met him first in a hurricane, and though we had gone through the hurricane on the same schooner, it was not until the schooner had gone to pieces under us that I first laid eyes on him.
Without doubt, I had seen him with the rest of the Kanaka crew on board, but I had not consciously been aware of his existence, for the Petite Jean was rather overcrowded. In addition to her 8 or 10 Kanaka seamen, her white captain, mate, and supercargo, and her 6 cabin passengers, she sailed from Rangiroa with something like 85 deck passengers, Palmatans and Tahitians, men, women, and children, each with a different trade box, to say nothing of sleeping mats, blankets, and clothes bundles. The pearling season in the Palmatas was over, and all hands were returning to Tahiti. The 6 of us cabin passengers were pearl buyers. 2 were Americans, 1 was Achun, the whitest Chinese I've ever known, 1 was German, 1 was a Polish Jew, and I completed the half dozen. It had been a prosperous season. Not one of us had cause for complaint, nor one of the 85 deck passengers either. All had done well, and all were looking forward to the rest-off and a good time in Papeete. Of course, the Petite Jean was overloaded. She was only 70 tons. She had no right to carry a teeth of mobs she had on board. Beneath her hatches, she was crammed and jammed with pearl shell and copra. Even the trade room was packed full with shell. It was a miracle that the sailors could work her. There was no moving about the decks. They simply climbed back and forth along the rails. In the nighttime, they walked upon the sleepers, who carpeted the deck. I'll swear, 2 deep. Oh, and there were pigs and chickens on decks and sacks of yam, while every conceivable place was festooned with strings of drinking coconuts and bunches of bananas. On both sides, between the fore and main shrouds, guides had been stretched just low enough for the foreboom to swing clear, and from each of these guys, at least 50 bunches of bananas were suspended. It promised to be a messy passage. Even if we did make it in the 2 or 3 days, that would have been required if the southeast trades had been flowing fresh. But they weren't blowing fresh. After the first 5 hours, the trade died away in a dozen or so gasping fans. The calm continued all that night and the next day. One of those glaring, glassy calms, when the very thought of opening one's eyes to look at it is sufficient to cause a headache. The second day, a man died, an Easter Islander, one of the best divers that season in the lagoon. Smallpox. That is what it was, though how smallpox could come on board, when there had been no known cases ashore when we left Rangiroa, is beyond me. There it was, though, smallpox.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?